She steps up to the front, poem in hand.
I call this poem Dolls.
She begins reading her poem, though it's a little like she was reading off of a teleprompter. Despite her reading it in a fairly flat tone, the poem itself is really interesting. Her poem describes people who act like plastic dolls, shiny and fake on the outside and completely hollow inside. She thinks people should stop pretending and instead try to fill themselves with substance. She goes on to also illustrate how some people treat others like a plastic doll, a toy to be used and tossed away. It's a bit deep for something she'd write, but also in true Natsuki fashion, it's very straightforward. There are 2 points she's making in her poem that use the same theme of dolls. One is obvious, the other... It was at this point that I noticed Yuri fidget uncomfortably in her chair. It could just be that she knows she's next and she's getting anxious, but it seemed more like a reaction to Natsuki's poem. Before I can finish that thought, Natsuki finishes her poem.
There, it's not super complex or anything like Bob Ross.
Robert Frost.
Whatever, but I think it gets straight to the point.
Monika looks genuinely sympathetic towards Natsuki.
I thought it was great, Natsuki. It doesn't have to be complex to be good, and I agree with the overall message in it.
This bolsters Natsuki's confidence as she straightens up a little.
Yeah, I don't like it when people are fake either.
Sayori says this with what sounds like a hint of guilt. I'm guessing Sayori thinks the poem might have been directed at her, or rather people like her, just because she tends to hide her true self from others sometimes. Natsuki looks at Sayori with a puzzled look, but then quickly turns to Yuri. Feeling a bit like being in the spotlight, Yuri noticeably shrinks back into her seat a bit.
It was a very provocative poem, Natsuki. Well done.
What does that mean? Like I provoked you?
Oh no, I'm not letting this spiral out of control again. No, Natsuki, provocative. Well, it just means that your poem definitely makes people think. Yuri quickly nods.
Yes, I just meant that it's really thought-provoking, and I can tell how very passionate you are about it.
Natsuki begins to visibly relax a little. Or a bit.
Oh, well, thanks, I guess. Yeah, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate when people try to pretend they're something they're not. Especially people who use others like they're disposable objects.
I agree. You make a lot of valid points, and I like how blunt and in your face it is in your poem.
Well, I'm nothing if not honest. I don't like to sugarcoat things.
Unless they're desserts, right?
Ah!
Natsuki rolls her eyes at me as she returns to her seat, but not before I catch her subtly trying to stifle a smile. Huh, maybe I'm rubbing off on her after all. Lastly, and unsurprisingly, is Yuri. She steels herself and, with some hesitation, slowly walks up to the front of the room. I have to admire her courage. I know she really isn't comfortable putting herself on display like this, and I'm sure it didn't help that she had to read something that is probably quite personal to her.
Well, my poem is titled The Wallpaper.
Although Yuri's recitation was somewhat quiet, she remained intensely focused on the paper in front of her. Monika did attempt to ask her to speak up, but I think after the second or third attempt she sort of just gave up. Yuri's was a short narrative story about a woman and her boyfriend who bought a house. They had plans to renovate starting with one of the bedrooms, as the entire house was papered in a hideous tan color. The woman began peeling large strips of the paper away only to find names and dates underneath corner sections in every room. Upon further research online, she found the names and dates to correspond with people who had gone missing over the years on those exact dates. Informing the local authorities, the crime scene investigators soon arrived. The woman overheard one of them say, "Yeah, it's human." One of the investigators comes to her and says, "Ma'am, where's all the material you removed? This isn't wallpaper." When Yuri finishes, she quickly sits back down without even waiting for feedback and breathes a sigh of relief. As the rest of us are trying to decide how to respond, Sayori is the first to speak up.
Yuri, that was definitely a pretty scary story. On an unrelated note, Holly, you're going to be walking home with me, right? Not for any particular reason.
Actually I might need to stay late to catch up on some stuff. If you want, you could wait, though we might end up walking home in the dark. Sayori pouts.
Me. I know it's not exactly a typical poem, but I had been reading several short stories and got inspired. I figured maybe I could play some music in the background for atmosphere and ambience while I read it.
Okay, I have to admit that that was pretty damn cool, and I think you should totally do that during the festival.
This comes as a surprise to everyone, but not the least of which is Yuri.
Thanks, Natsuki. You really think people will like it?
I'm not sure if they'll like it, but if we can scare people away from joining the club...
Everyone groans collectively while Yuri looks deflated.
What? It was a joke! Yuri!
Yuri turns slightly away to hide her embarrassment. For a moment, Natsuki looks genuinely concerned that she hurt Yuri's feelings. Then she crosses her arms and sinks back into her chair without saying another word.
Well, I think it was really creative, Yuri, and I really like your idea of setting an ambient tone with music while we read our poems and our stories. In fact, if anyone else would also like to do this, I can bring in my laptop, and we can hook up some speakers and play whatever music suits your poem or story. I honestly think you should run with this, Yuri.
Yuri slowly comes out of her funk with this and perks up.
You really think so, Monica? It wasn't too scary for trying to recruit girl or club members? Well, if I'm honest, you may want to choose something that's a little less macabre, but I don't have any objections to short horror stories. If anything, I think it can only help showcase the diversity of literature as well as the unique personalities of all our club members. With different genres, writing styles, and techniques, we'll be sure to have something for everyone.
Yuri sighs slightly, looking relieved.
Thank you.
Guess that means it's my turn. You already went, dummy. It was definitely creepy. Oh, you mean your turn to give advice. But in a good way. I mean, the general tone and the way you set the story, as well as how you reveal the twist at the end, really well done. Yuri gently smiles and nods in appreciation.
Thanks, Allie. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
We sat and discussed the potential for doing both poems and written short stories for the festival for a bit, before it was time to go home. As Monica concludes the meeting, everyone begins to pack up their stuff.
Thanks for reading your poems, everyone. I know it was a tough day, but you all did really well, and we'll only get better with practice.
Sierra and I walk home as usual. I'm starting to get used to this, even though it's only been a few days. Well, actually, you didn't do it last time. Listen to me. It's almost as if I want to stay in here. No, that's ridiculous. I have a life outside of here that I need to get back to.
Hey, Allie.
Siri snaps me out of my thoughts once more. Ah, yeah, sorry. I was spacing out a little bit there. What's up?
Oh, that's right. I space out all the time, too.
I decided to let that one go. I still kind of feel bad for the comment I made earlier, and she seems serious. So, did you have a question?
Oh, yes. Sorry. So, I'm just curious. Do you, happen to like Monica?
What?
Maybe even more than like?
I know she had asked the player previously about walking home with someone, but this feels more direct. I feel my face get flushed. There's no beating around the bush with this, and yet, I don't really know how I feel about anyone in particular just yet. Do I? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure I follow. What prompted this?
It's just that you seem to be spending a bit of time with her lately. I was just curious.
Well, I mean, I guess I do like Maya. Oh, is she jealous? Well, I don't want her to feel left out. Wink. I think I should reassure her. I'll work on the Monica routes. I'm gonna go with this. Guess I do like Monica. Monica definitely seems very strong-minded and has great leadership skills. It doesn't hurt that she and I share a secret about the reality of this world. So admittedly, the thought of spending more time with her makes my heart pound a little. She's strong, a natural leader, and obviously very talented at everything she does. I mean, she is the club president and the most popular girl at school.
Isn't she so sweet and beautiful?
I suppose, but so are you. I mean, sweet. Though, not that you're not beautiful, too. I just meant... I resign myself to defeat, knowing there's no salvaging that. To my surprise, however, Siri giggles.
Oh, Hallie, you're so funny.
Oddly enough, the conversation remains relatively light the rest of the way home. Siri seems in good spirits, but something also seems to be bothering her a little bit. We go our separate ways once we reach our street and wave goodbye. I still can't help but think what prompted her question to begin with. Is she jealous of me getting close with Monica? I'll have to make it a point to reassure her that no matter what, her friendship is important to me as well. With that, I head back inside to start work on my next poem. I have unlocked a special poem. Would I like to read it? Sure. Entry log number 1. Test subject number 1. Subject name TBD. So, not named yet. Date June 23rd, 2016. Notes: development has begun for Project Bleep. With the recent completion of the MEP program, it is now possible to move on to creating a redacted for testing. Programming has begun with a prototype test set to occur in approximately 3 months. We'll track progress of first subject, starting with this entry. Property of MES, unauthorized access, is prohibited. Oh, Manifest Enterprise Solutions. Write a poem. Do it. Well, like, revelation. Let's see. Witty. Yeah. Just look for the new words and you'll get Monica, basically. Uniform? Yeah. Oh yeah, literature. There you go. How about... you're called remorse. Sounds good, yeah. I don't think any of these are specifically Monica. This would be Yuri. So would this. This is probably Yuri as well. Yeah. That's yeah. Sayori. Wait. His future might be Sayori too. Nope. That one was Monica. There we found one. Let's see. Manipulation. Yeah. Oh wait, nah. Of course that would be Natsuki. Misfortune is Sayori. So no. Destiny? Yuri? No. Inferno? Esker? Experiment? Oh, Experiment's you. Yeah. We got lucky, creative, okay, creative. Bleed? Experiment. Yeah, experiment. We're getting there. I didn't click anything though. What was that noise? Is it part of the song? It's a little weird. I think it must be. Anyway, no promise. No. Bow. Yes. Let's see. Embraces Sayori. Secret. Aware? Yeah. Sacrifice. Predetermined. Organize. Yeah. Symphony? Only a couple more. Ink. And we'll go solitude, because envy is a mean word. I think I'm starting to get used to things here a bit. I actually ended up getting pretty much a full night's sleep last night. I go to the kitchen and grab a couple of slices of bread for the toaster. As I stand there and wait for the bread to toast, I hear a cough come from out of nowhere. Spinning around, I don't see anyone there or where the cough came from, but then it dawns on me that it could only be, Mr. X?
Apologies, I thought perhaps a gentle cough might be a bit less intrusive than speaking outright first.
Well, I guess it's a little better. I take it you want another status update.
Only if there has been a change, has there?
Not really. I think everyone is mostly focused on the festival right now, including Monica. He seems to pause for a moment before replying, which makes me nervous that he might suspect something's up.
That's good. Very good.
Phew.
In that case, have you made any more progress in recovering your memories?
Not really. I was kind of hoping you might have more information for me. Maybe something will jog it.
I see.
It almost sounds as if...
Well, as it happens, I was able to scrape some data left in a file that was only partially wiped.
Really? What did you find?
You're sure you don't remember anything else?
My heart starts to beat faster. I just hope he isn't able to notice that his question caught me a little off guard. I don't really have any motivation to lie. I just want... I want out of here just as badly as you do.
I suppose that's true. We need each other in order to escape here, so it benefits us both to be forthcoming with any information we find.
Well, with that said, let me ask you this. Oh, no, it's him saying it.
With that said, let me ask you this. The company you used to work for, do you remember any kind of incidents occurring during your time there?
Incidents like what?
There's a partial incident report from the company that bought yours out. Standard protocol anytime something happens that causes injury or destruction of property.
Injury or destruction of property? What the hell is he getting at? I'm familiar with that, with what an incident report is, but what was the incident?
A catastrophic power failure, one that caused your entire program to shut down.
A power failure? The whole program? Another surge of memories, flashing like a movie on fast forward, races through my mind. There was a really large power surge. The computers, the servers, everything was fried. All of the data and it is backups completely wiped. It was pretty obvious that something like that doesn't just happen, but whomever or whatever was responsible was good. We couldn't find out who or how it was done. Suffice it to say, millions of dollars in research was just gone without a trace and no explanation. The company was forced to shutter. There were rumors that a disgruntled lead researcher who was fired sabotaged the systems. Others said it was a rogue virus that was released from some competitor. I didn't care about any of that. I had poured almost a decade of my life into this research in tech, and I wasn't about to give up on it. We were so close. I knew it. Since I had created most of the tech myself, I continued my work in private at my own place with some help from other former coworkers who also believed in it. When I wasn't working on the tech, I spent my downtime immersing myself in video games or visual novels. That's when I had found it. Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't even remember how I found it, just that it appeared on my computer one day. Not entirely unusual given my knack for buying or downloading games randomly and then forgetting about them. The odd thing was that some of the things that happened in the game didn't seem to happen for others. There were certain glitches, certain dialogue that seemed different because everything I saw online showed the game playing out somewhat differently. It was still a psychological horror game, but the characters, I don't know what or felt different somehow. It was as if my version never existed anywhere else outside my computer. As Mr. X had previously mentioned, our program was only one part of a larger project. The company that bought us seemed to have other intentions for our experimental tech as part of this grander project. But they closed due to the catastrophic failure before they could tell us what they wanted us to use it for. All I remember was the project name they assigned it. Project... I don't think you remembered the name, guy. I come back to my senses and feel weak in the knees. I locate the nearest kitchen chair and sit down promptly while nursing my burgeoning headache.
I take it that triggered some sort of memory recall.
I suppose there's no point in hiding the fact that I remembered something, given my visceral reaction to the returning memories. But how much I tell him still needs to be measured. I only hope I can be convincing. Yeah, a bit. I remember the power surge. Nobody knew who or what did it. Everything was wiped, costing the company millions. People lost their jobs, including myself.
Yes, I knew that much. Was there anything else?
I remember we were close to a breakthrough right before it happened. And I remember finding this game somehow on my computer, though something was different about it. The air seems to get chilly as everything grows silent. For some reason I get this really bad feeling, like a heavy sense of foreboding. Are you still there?
My apologies, I'm still not used to the fact that there are others out there. Other copies of this game, I mean. At any rate, your game version being different is likely just a byproduct from the presence of sentient AI, such as myself and Monica.
I mean, that does make sense, I suppose, but it also doesn't really answer the question of how it got on my computer or why my version out of all of them gained sentience. For now, though, I decided to drop it. I was already running late and didn't want to a repeat of yesterday. Anyway, was there anything else? I'm running behind this morning.
No, but do let me know if you recall anything else.
Will do. I get up slowly this time and make my way out the door in hopes of catching Seorga on her way to school.
So you do remember Project Aeternum. Just a little more and I can finally get out of this damn simulation.
As I enter the clubroom, I'm greeted by the familiar sight of Yuri deep in her book, Natsuki rummaging around in the closet, and... who is that?